Access to the archives is strictly limited. Only professional researchers with special permission can work with these documents, and even they face numerous restrictions regarding the time and volume of information they are allowed to study. The Vatican claims that such measures are necessary to protect the fragile and valuable documents. Nonetheless, the Apostolic Archives represent one of the largest and most impregnable collections of documents in the world. Established in the early 17th century, they contain unique historical documents covering more than 12 centuries. From the 8th century to the present day, over 85 kilometers of shelves are filled with manuscripts, books, papal bulls, diplomatic correspondence, and many other important documents that form the historical memory of both the Catholic Church and the world in general. The Apostolic Archives were established in 1612 by Pope Paul V to organize and preserve the important documents of the Church. Over time, the collection grew significantly, including materials reflecting key moments in world history, from the Crusades to World War I. The archives became not only a symbol of spiritual power, but also an important center for historians and scholars studying various epochs and events. The Vatican Archives are divided into several sections, each dedicated to a specific period or theme. Some of the most well-known sections include papal bulls and encyclicals, official documents issued by the popes containing dogmatic and administrative decisions, diplomatic correspondence, letters and reports sent and received by Vatican ambassadors worldwide, private papers, personal letters and records belonging to high-ranking church figures and officials, secret documents, sectional materials that are restricted even for most researchers. Access to the Apostolic Archives is strictly regulated. To obtain permission to research, scholars must go through a complex approval process, which includes submitting an application justifying the purpose of the research and confirming their qualifications. Even after gaining access, researchers face several restrictions. Limited working hours. The archives are open for work only during specific hours and days. Limited access to materials. Many documents remain closed to general access due to confidentiality or their poor condition. No copying. In most cases, making copies of documents is prohibited, and researchers must rely on notes and records. Despite the strict limitations, some notable discoveries in the Apostolic Archives have been made public. Michelangelo's letter, one of the personal letters of the great artist revealing his relations with church authorities and views on religion. Documents related to the trial of Galileo Galilei, detailed reports on the trial and condemnation of the famous scientist, clarifying his conflict with the Church, secret treaties, diplomatic agreements concluded between the Vatican and various states, reflecting the Church's political influence. One of the most famous and discussed secrets is the existence of secret documents, which, according to some researchers, contain information about unknown aspects of Christian faith, political intrigues, and even contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations. Among the theories, the following stand out. There is an opinion that the Vatican's archives contain apocryphal Gospels that were not included in the canonical New Testament. These texts may contain alternative versions of the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, which could significantly alter modern views on Christianity. For example, there is a hypothesis about the existence of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which attributes her a significant role in the early church, which would radically change traditional views on women's participation in Christianity. It portrays Mary Magdalene as one of Jesus' closest disciples, endowed with profound spiritual knowledge and understanding. In this text, Jesus conveys teachings to her that were not known to other apostles, which challenges the traditional view of the role of women in the early church. If this document were made public and recognized as authentic, it could substantially change our understanding of gender roles in Christian tradition. The Vatican's secret archives may also contain letters and other records of the apostles that could provide new information about their lives, missions, and relationships. These documents could help historians better understand the internal dynamics of the early Christian community and shed light on the disputes and disagreements that took place at that time. Documents concerning the early centuries of Christianity may include protocols of councils, where important doctrinal decisions were made, as well as descriptions of religious practices and rituals that may have been forgotten or altered over time. These materials could help reconstruct a more complete picture of the development of Christian doctrine and church structure. Among the secret documents, there may be texts related to so-called heresies, religious movements that were condemned and suppressed by the official church. Studying these texts could reveal how diverse religious beliefs and practices were in the early centuries of Christianity. For example, documents related to Gnosticism or Arianism could shed light on alternative views on the nature of. One of the most sensational and discussed theories is the suggestion that the Vatican possesses documents confirming encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations. Proponents of this theory point to the interest of some high-ranking Vatican figures in astronomy and space, as well as numerous mentions of celestial signs and angels in religious texts, which may be interpreted as evidence of contact with extraterrestrials. Supporters of the theory of Vatican encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations often point to biblical texts and medieval records that describe celestial signs, angels, and miracles. Some of these descriptions, according to theorists, may be interpreted as evidence of encounters with aliens. For example, mentions of the chariot of fire in the Old Testament or the visions of the prophet Ezekiel are often seen as possible descriptions of spacecraft. Special attention is drawn to the Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world. Founded in 1582, the Vatican is actively involved in astronomical research, and some believe that this is connected to studying and concealing information about extraterrestrial civilizations. The observatory is located on two main sites, Castel Gandolfo, near Rome, and in Arizona, USA. These observatories are equipped with modern equipment and collaborate with leading astronomical centers around the world, fueling interest in possible research on extraterrestrial objects and phenomena. Some high-ranking Vatican figures, such as Father Gabriel Funes, former director of the Vatican Observatory, and Father José Gabriel Funes, an astronomer, have spoken about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. In their interviews and speeches, they have stated that belief in God does not exclude the existence of life on other planets. These statements have sparked speculation that the Vatican possesses some secret knowledge about extraterrestrial civilizations. Theories about the Vatican's encounters with extraterrestrials are often based on the assumption that secret archives contain evidence of such encounters. These may include eyewitness testimonies, official reports, or even artifacts found in ancient manuscripts and texts. Proponents of this theory argue that the Church is concealing this information, fearing it could undermine established religious doctrines and cause mass panic. Another popular theory suggests that many biblical prophecies and celestial signs described in sacred texts may actually be encoded messages about contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations. These interpretations point to the idea that the Church may possess knowledge about upcoming events related to alien encounters. Some theorists speculate that the Vatican is actively engaged in space research to prepare for possible contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. This could involve not only scientific studies, but also the development of spiritual and moral doctrines to help humanity cope with such a revelation. Although the theory that the Vatican possesses documents confirming encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations remains contentious and lacks official evidence, it continues to spark great interest and speculation. The Vatican Observatory and statements by high-ranking church officials fuel this interest, adding a new layer of mystery to the already enigmatic history of the Vatican. Whether these secret documents will ever be revealed is still an open question. However, continued research and the discovery of new data may one day shed light on this captivating and sensational theory. For centuries, the Vatican has played a significant role in global politics, influencing important historical events and decisions. It is believed that the Vatican's secret archives hold documents revealing clandestine agreements, conspiracies, and espionage operations in which the heads of the Catholic Church were involved. These records could illuminate many historical events that remain shrouded in mystery to this day. Historically, the Vatican engaged in complex diplomatic negotiations and signed secret agreements with various states. These agreements covered not only religious matters, but also political and military alliances. Examples of such agreements include papal bulls and encyclicals. Documents regulating relations between the Church and states often included secret clauses related to political and military matters. Lateran Treaty, signed in 1929 between the Vatican and Italy. This treaty recognized the sovereignty of the Vatican and included secret clauses related to political concessions and support from the Church. Concordats, treaties between the Holy See and states governing the rights and privileges of the Catholic Church. Many of these concordats included secret clauses concerning political and economic support. The Vatican also actively participated in espionage and intelligence activities. The Vatican's diplomatic network, which spanned the globe, gave the Church access to information unavailable to other organizations. It is known that the Vatican used this network to gather and transmit information, influencing political decisions and events. Operation Lucifer, one of the most famous espionage operations attributed to the Vatican, took place during World War I. It is believed that the Vatican provided intelligence to the Allies about the movements of German troops and Nazi plans. Using its diplomatic channels and religious contacts, information networks and agents, the Vatican's network of informants and agents in various countries help collect data on political sentiments, military plans, and economic situations. This information was passed directly to the Pope and his closest advisors. The Vatican has repeatedly been involved in political conspiracies and intrigues, using its influence to achieve the Church's goals. These conspiracies included the overthrow of rulers, support for uprisings, and even participation in assassinations. The Inquisition and its role. The Inquisition, established to combat heresy, was also used for political purposes, eliminating opponents of the Church and strengthening its power. Documents stored in the Vatican Archives may contain details of such operations. Support for monarchs and dynasties. The Vatican often supported certain monarchs and dynasties by entering into secret agreements and providing financial aid. These actions help the Church maintain and strengthen its influence in different countries. Documents containing information about secret agreements, conspiracies, and espionage operations by the Vatican remain hidden from the public. The release of these documents could shed light on many historical events and show just how deep the Church's influence on world politics has been. Secret protocols. Many documents include secret protocols and records that reveal the details of negotiations and agreements that were never made public. Personalities and participants. The secret archives may contain information about the people involved in conspiracies and operations, including high-ranking church and state officials. The Vatican Apostolic Archives hold countless secrets related to the Church's political and diplomatic activities over the centuries. Secret agreements, conspiracies, and espionage operations hidden within these archives could change our understanding of many historical events. Despite the ongoing secrecy, continued research and the potential release of these documents in the future could shed light on the mysteries surrounding the Vatican's role in global politics. Despite all the theories and speculations, the Vatican remains a highly secretive institution. Only a few researchers who have gained access to the archives confirm that the documents they found significantly enrich our knowledge of the Catholic Church and its history. However, the authenticity of the most sensational theories remains in question due to the limited access to sources. In recent years, the Vatican has taken steps toward greater openness. In 2019, Pope Francis announced the declassification of archives from the papacy of Pope Pius X to dispel rumors about his cooperation with the Nazis during World War I. However, long-held secrets and undisclosed pages of the Vatican's history continue to stir the minds of researchers and mystery enthusiasts worldwide. The Vatican remains a symbol of spiritual power and a source of endless mysteries, whether real or fictional. The secrets of its archives continue to attract attention and inspire new research and theories. The unveiling of each new page of this story brings us closer to understanding one of the most influential and enigmatic organizations in the world.